Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Fair Chance Trader. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry I haven't posted this weekend. I wanted to give the weekend, see what was coming out with the news and everything, to give y'all a chance to see what could happen in the market to get a good prediction for it. Just to let you know, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so just bear with me. But I got a lot of analysis to get into, and let's see what we can dig up. Also, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so keep that in mind. But first, we'll start with the SPY. The SPY, right now, after hours, it's at 598.97. So it came straight down from where it was holding strong at 609, leading into the end of the day, basically. So a lot happened at the end of the day. But then you had this big volume candle of buying, where buying was coming back in. Do I think it can get back up? I do. But there's going to be a lot going on because we've got the tariffs on Canada, tariffs on Mexico, the ones on China, and other things implementing, and more things to come probably. So keep that in mind. But right now, I think if SPY can hold over the 601 area and make a push back up to that 603 to 604, there's potential for that 605.45 area, and then working our way up. If not, I think, which granted we're already at 598, so it depends on how we open in pre-market. Keep that in mind. So we're really down here already. So keep that in mind. So reality of it all here, we gotta retest and hold that 6. If we don't hold that 6 and push up back here, we're gonna come back down. But I think we're gonna have a battle. It's gonna be a volatile week. I know that for sure. I'm pretty sure of that. Got a few more earnings coming in, but I think if we don't hold that 6, we could come back down to that 595 range. Yep, that 595-ish, 594.82, right around there. And then let's see. Yep, 595. Might have a little bit of a leeway to the 593. I say 595, 94. Somewhere around there is where we could bounce to if it doesn't hold that 600 level. So it could come back down there. So just keep that in mind. But overall, over the course of the next couple weeks, I do expect SPY to maybe be testing all-time highs. It just depends on what the market comes up with, the president, and everything else. So we just got to stay tuned with the news. But for now, I do expect a little bit of a sell-off, possibly, depending on how the market goes. So I'm expecting the downside, hoping for that upside. So depending on if we hold us, back up to 600 and push up to that 602 to the 604. So we're gonna go to NVIDIA right quick. NVIDIA, let's see after hours right quick how that did. So get into it for everyone. So overall on the day, down about 5.50. $5.50. It was up to 127. Now down to 119. Whew, what do I think? NVIDIA is a mixed handbasket for me. I think, yes, there's potential for it to be up here. But is that now? That's the question. Because it has been, in my opinion, overbought for a while. I mean, I thought it was overbought when it was at 1,000 a little bit. But then again, they kept coming out with good things, so can they keep coming out with that? So for right now, what I'm thinking NVIDIA can do, which right now it's like 119.22, so it didn't do too bad from where it was close, 119.94. So let's see if it can, if it can't hold over that 119 range and it falls back down to that 118, it can easily come back down to that 116 range easily. Let's see. Wow, haven't had that 116 range since early October, so keep that in mind. It's been a while since we really had that yet. Right here, then early October, so a lot of uncharted territory. Then we could be coming down to that 115 and maybe have a retest on that 113 and then lower, breaking all the way down to the 90 if we have to. I highly doubt that would be coming, but can happen. The market has been very spooky. But if we do retest and hold that 119, I do think there's a retest to that 121 where we get more buyers pulling in right here to possibly that 123 where we will struggle at the 125. I think that's where we're going to have a big hold up to see if we can push past that or not. If we do, we have a chance to shoot to that 128 and then potentially going for even all-time highs. But that's just my predictions here. I'm hoping it's going to go up. I'm expecting it to come down a little bit and maybe bounce up. Just depends with this DeepSeek if more things come out with it. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and get into, let's see. We'll look into IWM right quick. IWM. Okay. So obviously the day it was boom, testing all-time highs, which was great. I do believe that IWM will come, let's see, it was at 226. I do think it will come back down, retest that 225 range before coming back up to retest for that all-time high again, making a new forward push. But the market can surprise me, and if not, it will come back down to that probably 225, down to that 224.50 range. And then from there, it all depends. We may come back down even to the 222 range. But overall, I do think this IWM is going to be like a fake bounce, boom, boom, with buyers coming in. But we will see based off the tariffs and everything. We're going to get into GME right quick. Let's see where GME is after hours. Oh, yeah, I got to talk about GME. GME. So a lot happened. We made a strong push up, right, throughout the week. And it was holding great momentum. But then as you can see here, it was low volume throughout the week. Like when you really look at what this volume really was per candle, like you can see right here, 4.54 million volume. Okay, let's get a little closer to the end of the week. You know what I mean? It's just, there wasn't much volume, honestly, throughout the week until the very end where the market makers said, hey, let me sell off so all these options don't hit in the money. Boom, hitting it below 27. No price action. Then the whole market at 130. Market makers didn't want to pay money. So send the stocks down so we ain't got to pay money. That's what I think happens on Fridays. You can do with that information as you will, not financial advice. But for me, I think Jimmy is just doing a false breakdown. If it does, I do think it can come back down to 26.50. Maybe even retest at 26.35. But I do think it's going to just bounce from here. Make a strong push up to 27.50, then to 28. But it just depends if volatility comes in the market or if this is going to be another week of little volatility. Like, I mean, if you zoom out, look at all the volume here compared to right here. Volume, nothing, like dead cat. So I am expecting something to be coming soon from Jimmy. Plus, option volatility, IV is so low, like cheap, and people are building up on it. That's something to keep in mind. You know, hey, let's say a few contracts go into money, IV picks up exponentially. So many contracts are starting to go into money. Could get a gamma squeeze that way too. Just keep that in mind. I'm thinking though that we will retest that $28 this week easily, even maybe potentially retesting that $30 by this week. I do see that for GME on a high potential. It just depends, obviously. But I do see GME definitely retesting that shortly. Let me do that. There we go. That way we can kind of see it. There we go. That way I do think it's going to retest that 30 soon. And once we pass that 29.50 range, it's like a straight shot. Like GME's boom, from the 28.50 to boom, straight to 32. And then after there, once you hit that 35, 34, 35 range, let's just zoom in right here. Let's look at it from that. Zoom out and zoom in. Gotta love it, right? Okay, let's see. This is what, January? No, this is June 2024. Okay, we hit that $34 range. Boom, boom, boom. Buyers stepped in. That's where buyers will love to step in. So keep that in mind. When we hit that $34 range, anything's possible. Anything can happen. So that's just something to keep in mind. We're going to go to AMC right quick. AMC right now is kind of fun to talk about. Let's put it that way. It's definitely fun to talk about. Could be better, could be a lot worse. Let's see, how far out are we? We are in February of 2025. That's where I want to be. Beautiful. Okay, zoom down. All right, cool. We're at 311. For me personally, I do think AMC has the potential to come back down slightly, back down to that $3 to 2.90 range. You could still get filled back there. I do think once we hit around that $3 range at close to it, I do think that's when the bounce is going to be coming and volume is going to start picking in fast. I do think there is a potential for AMC to go back and retest for the $5 range over the course of a week or two. Let me just change that money so we can actually see the price. So, AMC kicked just a bit again. I'm assuming AMC, once it gets across that 450, that's when you boom. I think we can go ahead and go towards that $5 range. And if we zoom back a little bit further, once we get past that $5.50 range, I do believe if we cross that 6, that's when things can get really interesting. Last time we hit, I think, like 11 something. So just keep that in mind, like 1180. I don't know if AMC can go past that or not. It could not. It just depends. Time will tell, but just keep that on your radar. HOLO, we're gonna go into this one. I actually have a few plays on this one myself because not personal advice and just financial advice, just my opinion here. I do think HOLO's at that stage where it's about to get this bounce to where everyone's about to buy in like crazy, especially with the Chinese New Year ending. That's going to be the key catalyst for me, I think. I'm going to hold off until then at least to see what's going to play out, but I do think the buyers are going to step in, just letting them build up and accumulate right now. Like, all right, cool. Oh, you didn't want to go yet? All right, hold up. I'm going to keep accumulating. All right, ready? And then we send it. We sent it early on to that $9 range. It's done it before, can do it again. I think this stock potentially, if it hits past that 280 and soars past that 280, there's no stopping it. But it has to hit past that 280 to let it go. So just keep that in mind. So I'm thinking right now with HOLO, I'm going to let it ride. Let's see how it goes. I'm thinking it may come back down, retest that 135 range. If it does, that's what I'm going to wager. Is it still going to have momentum coming with it? Let's see if there's something coming out. But it's got a lot of patents, so this is a long-term hold for me, in my opinion. But I do think we can retest that 180, going into that 170, going to the 180, and then retesting that 280 potentially this week or next week easily, in my opinion. All right, we're going to get into stock I like to talk about, NVIS. NVIS is one that a lot of people would like to hear about as well. I bought down at 90 cents. It was pretty good stock. Right now it's catching some momentum. It's just letting people kind of tally up before its next leg is what my opinion is. Yep, you had a little sell-off, but then it had the new price accumulation adjustment where people said it's worth about $2 a share now. Okay, well, let's see. It's not even $2 a share yet, but they have the price target of $2 a share, so just keep that in mind. What happens if we hit the $2 price target and we have new things come out for it, new news? That's something to keep in mind with LiDAR, something key to keep in mind. For me this week, I'm looking to see if we can rehold that 165 to that 170 range. If we do not, I am thinking we will fall back down to that 150 to 145. But just depends on if news comes in the market or anything. But we could make a retest for that 195 to $2 range, and then then we can go. We can go. Let's see. Last time we did that was 5,000 bars. No, we did. Oh, is NVIS new? Is it new up here? I thought NVIS has been out for a while, longer than that. Oh, so yeah, it's got a 5-year. Why is it not letting me see it on the... Okay, well, we'll look at the 5-year up here right quick. So, it retested about the $6 range in June 2023, and we're coming back up with a bounce in good momentum and good positive news. So what do you think is going to happen? We could really keep going with this, and that's something I like to keep on my radar. But just keep that in mind. FFIE, a lot of people are kind of invested in this one because some momentum kind of picked back up into us. So let's talk about it. FFIE, if buyers really do step in, I do think FFIE can potentially retest that $150 range. I don't think it's going to go anything crazy like people may think to $10, $20. But I do think FFIE has the potential to go back to that $5 range almost. It made it to that $3 range, and that could have been the test squeezed, and then we could potentially get the next squeeze to the $5 range. Granted, that's all depends. All depends. But for right now, we're going to see if we can retest that 150 range. If we can retest and rehold there, that's what I want to see. If not, I think we're going to come back right down to that 125 to 120 range. And then we will potentially see if we're coming lower. If we do come lower, we have the reverse split potential that can happen. So just keep that in mind, more dilution. But there is 25 million shares that they can dilute. So keep that in mind. But I do think we can make a push up. If we make past that 150, I think the next battle will be that about 165 range. And then after there, I think closer to $2. I'm trying to think if there's any other stocks I would like to talk about right quick that I haven't talked about. You know what? A lot of people are talking about this one, so we will put it on your radar because you need to look into it. Lucid. A lot of people are having high hopes for that $3 range to be retested with Lucid. You know, it's kind of building itself back up, but I do think over the next couple weeks, Lucid will retest that $3 range and hopefully work toward 320, maybe even higher. But if not, we could have a breakdown back to the 260 and then even further to 250 and further down. But I do believe Lucid, if it catches some more buyers, we will get back to the $3 range pretty quickly. BlackBerry right now, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just doing a stair, step, and hold, stair, step, and hold. I think BlackBerry has strong potential here. I'm looking for that 480 range now. That is my next target for BlackBerry. But right now we're just getting into here, so we got to see if we can hold in here. We're gonna have to retest, test for that 460, and then we can make a push for that 470 leading into the 480. But if not, I do think we could come back down 435, 430, retest, bounce, go. If we don't hold there, we will come back down to the 420, maybe even to the $4 range. But I do not believe that's going to be the case. I think the lowest we will be going is about 420. And then we're going to be bouncing from there. I think we're just keeping higher highs and higher lows with BlackBerry. So that's something to keep in mind. Lastly, a lot of people like to talk about Bitcoin right quick. So let's get into Bitcoin because Bitcoin has done a lot. We're at 96.5 right now. If we do not hold this 96,000 right now, I think we could come down all the way to 90K. I'm just saying it flat out. I think it's possible. Granted, if we do not even hold 90K, that's where it gets tricky. We could go down to the 88 to 85K. Granted, I highly doubt. I think we'll get strong buyers at that point. But I think what we're going to have is probably a push down to the 93K, 92.5, and then we're going to bounce back up to the 98, going to 100K. That's what I'm thinking, and then we're going to go from there. But unless some crazy news comes out. But that's my prediction over the next couple days. We'll see how that goes. A lot can happen, though. It can go all the way back to all-time highs in one day. It has happened. Right now with XRP, we're looking at market cap. Whoops. XRP US dollar. Thank you. Wow. $2.31. Holy cow, XRP. What happened over the course of the day? Oh my gosh. Time to find out. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, XRP. Well, with everything going in the market, the tariffs and everything, places are selling off their XRP and crypto, which makes a strong sense because what currency do you want to hold on to? What do you really want to hold on to during all this crisis that everyone's dealing with? And that's a lot to, keep in mind. A lot of people getting scared, fear. But fear is the perfect time for something to happen too. Keep that in mind. Something quick can happen. You could be left not holding the bag, not enjoying it. Or vice versa, left holding the bag. So you got to play it both sides and be safe. But for me right now, I'm thinking XRP, if it can retest that 250 range and hold, I think we will make a stronger push back to 280 and re-hold back to 292, $3. If not, I think there is a chance we can really come back down to, let's see where we had some support. We had some support right about here, 220. And 240 is going to be a battle. Okay, so 240 to 250 is going to be the battle. But I think we have a support to about 220, and then it comes all the way back down to the support of about $2 to 210. So just keep that in mind. I do think XRP is going to be one of those that's going to be high in the future, and this might be the perfect buy the dip opportunity, not financial advice, but just keep that in mind. But other than that, I do believe that is all that I was hoping to talk about tonight. If you have any other stocks or things y'all would like to talk about, y'all please let me know in the comments and hit the like and subscribe button. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what y'all feeling about this market. You bullish or bearish? For me, I'm bullish on a few stocks, bearish on the market, but we'll see. I'm bearish on the SPY and NVIDIA a little, in a few cents of how the current market is acting, but bullish overall for the long term. Bullish in the current, bullish in the long term, bearish in the current term for the short window, depending on how the news comes out leading into the morning. Another one to put on your radar right quick for a shout out one that everyone's talking about Monday. You want to look into Bion. Bion has got big news coming out Monday. Don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but there is a chance that if this news does great, this stock can skyrocket to about $10 a share, I think, depending on how this news is portrayed. If not, I think we're going to come back down to that $7 range. So just keep that in mind with Bion, but I think there's a chance for this to really do good depending on how the news comes out. But y'all take care. This is a Fair Chance Trader logging out.